The wine glass exploded against the marble floor. Red liquid splattered across white sneakers, soaking into the hem of a black work apron. Amara didn't move. She couldn't. The entire restaurant had gone silent, every fork frozen midair, every conversation cut dead. Sujin stood over her, designer handbag dangling from one manicured hand, disgust carved into her perfect face. "Gaigatun," she muttered in Korean, loud enough for the tables nearby to hear. Like a dog. Amara's jaw tightened, her fingers curled into fists at her sides. She understood every single word. But Sujin didn't know that. None of them ever did. Cash hit the floor, bills scattered across the wine-stained tiles, some landing in the puddle at Amara's feet. "For the mess," Sujin said in English now, her accent sharp and deliberate. "Maybe buy yourself some coordination lessons?" Laughter rippled through the nearest tables. Not loud, just enough to sting. Phones came out, 3, 4, 5 cameras pointed at Amara like weapons. Red recording lights blinked in the dim restaurant lighting. The manager rushed over, his face flushed, hands already reaching for Sujin's arm. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. She's new. Please let me." "New?" Sujin cut him off. "Or just incompetent." Amara's hands trembled. Not from fear, from rage, the kind that burned slow and deep, the kind that made you want to say things you couldn't take back. But she didn't speak. She didn't bend down for the money. She just stood there, dripping wine while the whole restaurant watched. That's when he stood up. A man in the corner booth, dark suit, quiet presence. He'd been there the whole time, phone on the table, untouched food in front of him. Jiwoo moved like water, smooth and unhurried, crossing the restaurant floor in seconds. He didn't look at Amara. Not yet. He walked straight to the scattered bills, crouched down, and picked up every single one, slowly, deliberately, making everyone watch. Then he stood, turned to Amara, and placed the money in her hand. His fingers were cold. "Dangsin abeojihante jonhwa-hei," he said to Sujin, his voice flat and cutting. "Call your father." Sujin blinked. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across her face. "Excuse me?" Jiwoo pulled out his phone. Didn't unlock it, just held it. "You don't know who I am. That's fine, but your father does." Sujin laughed, but it sounded forced. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" The silence stretched. Jiwoo didn't move, didn't blink. The entire energy of the room shifted, like air pressure dropping before a storm. Sujin's smile faltered. She glanced at her friends, at the phone still recording, at the manager who suddenly looked very uncomfortable. Jiwoo turned to Amara, spoke in English, his accent barely there. "You don't bow to people like her." Then he walked out, just like that, left the restaurant buzzing, left Sujin standing there with her mouth half open, left Amara holding cash she didn't ask for and answers she didn't have. The manager cleared his throat. "Clean this up." But Amara's coworker grabbed her arm first, pulling her toward the back. "Do you know who that was?" Amara shook her head. "That was Jiwoo. He owns half of Gangnam." The words didn't make sense. Not yet, but they would. 3 days passed. 3 days of scrubbing tables, forcing smiles, pretending the video wasn't everywhere. Because it was. Amara's face, frozen in humiliation, had gone viral. Shared in group chats, reposted on Instagram, dissected in comment sections. Her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages from her Nigerian friends back in Itaewon. "Girl, you're famous. That rich girl is trash." Who was that fine man, though? Amara ignored them all. She showed up for her shift, tied her braids back, and kept her head down. That's what you did when you were black in Korea. You made yourself small, you survived. But Sujin didn't disappear. She came back, walked through the restaurant doors like she owned the place, same designer outfit, same cold eyes. But something was different. Her confidence had cracks in it. She wasn't there to apologize. She was there to find him, and he was already there. Sitting in Amara's section, eating jjajangmyeon like it was any other Tuesday. Amara froze when she saw him, tray in hand, heartbeat spiking. Jiwoo looked up. "Ajosi, you want more water?" She blinked. He just called himself Uncle, casual, like they were friends. "My mama would cook this differently, though," she added in English, trying to keep her voice steady. His lips curved, almost a smile. "How?" More palm oil, less soy. Sounds better. A Korean customer at the next table looked over, eyes wide. Wait, you speak Korean? Amara turned to him. Nee, woyo? Yes, why? The man stammered. I didn't expect. Jiwoo cut in, voice cool. She lives here. She studies here. Why wouldn't she speak Korean? The customer looked away, uncomfortable, caught. But the question lingered in the air. It always did. Where are you really from? Why are you really here? Soo-jin stood near the entrance, watching it all, her jaw tight, her hands clenched. Jiwoo noticed. Of course he did. He stood, wiped his mouth with a napkin, and walked straight to her. Your father called me yesterday, he said quietly. Soo-jin's face went pale. 3 contracts. Gone. More coming. He leaned in just slightly. You embarrassed the wrong person. I didn't. Yes, you did. He stepped back. Next time you want to throw money at someone, make sure you can afford it. He walked past her, stopped next to Amara on his way out. Come by my office tomorrow. I have a job for you. Amara's mouth opened. No sound came out. Why me? She finally managed. Jiwoo glanced back at Soo-jin, then at the customer still staring. Because you didn't bow. He left, again, leaving questions that burned hotter than the wine ever did. Amara stood there, tray shaking in her hands, while the restaurant slowly came back to life around her. Conversations resumed, phones went back in pockets. Soo-jin walked out, heels clicking like gunshots, and Amara realized something. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. But I wasn't ready for what happened next. The address Jiwoo texted her led to a building in Gangnam that didn't advertise what it was. No company name on the glass doors, no lobby directory, just sleek marble, and a security guard who nodded when Amara mentioned Jiwoo's name. The elevator ride to the 15th floor felt longer than it should have. Amara checked her reflection in the mirrored walls, braids pulled back tight, neutral lipstick, the kind of look that said, professional, respectable, don't look at me too long. She'd learned that outfit years ago. The elevator doors opened. Jiwoo's office was all windows and sharp edges, city sprawling below like a circuit board. He sat behind a black desk, talking on the phone in rapid Korean, business talk, numbers, deadlines. He gestured for her to sit. She didn't. When he hung up, he studied her for a long moment. You came. You said you had a job. I do. He opened a drawer, pulled out a folder. Import coordinator. You'd handle international shipments, communicate with overseas partners, manage documentation. Amara's eyebrows lifted. That's not a waitress job. No, it's not. Why me? Jiwoo leaned back in his chair. You speak 3 languages, Korean, English, and I'm guessing one more from home. Yoruba, she said quietly. 4 if you count business language. He slid the folder across the desk. Most people in the city can't code switch the way you do. That's valuable. Amara picked up the folder, but didn't open it. Something felt off, too easy, too convenient. What's the catch? No catch. There's always a catch. Jiwoo's expression didn't change. The catch is some of my employees won't like you, some of my clients won't trust you, and you'll have to prove yourself every single day. He paused. But you're already doing that at the restaurant for minimum wage. Here, at least you'll get paid what you're worth. The folder felt heavy in her hands. I'll think about it. Don't think too long. Soo-jin's family has connections. They'll make sure you can't work anywhere nice in this city. Amara's jaw tightened. So this is charity? No. Jiwoo stood. This is business. I need someone I can trust who won't fold under pressure. You stood in front of cameras and didn't break. That tells me everything I need to know. She wanted to argue, wanted to throw the folder back and walk out, but her bank account was crying and her visa renewal was coming up and pride didn't pay rent. When do I start? Monday. She nodded once, turned to leave. Amara. She stopped at the door. The video of you? It's gone, scrubbed from every platform. Her heart skipped. How? Jiwoo's smile was thin. I know people. That should have been a relief. Instead, it felt like a weight, because now she owed him, and debt was dangerous. Monday came fast. Too fast. Amara showed up in a blazer she'd bought from a secondhand shop, braids styled into a professional bun, makeup subtle. She bowed to everyone she passed. Deep, respectful, the way Koreans expected. The office was cold. Not temperature, energy. Eyes followed her from the moment she walked in. Conversation stopped. Keyboards went silent. She felt every gaze like a physical touch, cataloging her skin, her hair, her foreignness. Her desk was in the corner, away from windows, away from everyone else. The woman at the neighboring desk didn't introduce herself, just stared for a solid 10 seconds before turning back to her computer. Amara sat down, logged into her new system, started reading through shipment manifests like her life depended on it. At lunch, she ate alone in the break room, not because she wanted to, because the moment she walked in with her kimbap, 3 women stopped talking mid-sentence and left. She chewed slowly, tasted nothing. Her phone buzzed, a message from her friend Zainab. Yo, you still coming to the cookout Saturday? Tunde's making jollof. Amara's chest loosened, just reading it. Real food, real people, she typed back quickly. Bet, I'll bring Chin Chin. Girl, yes, we miss you. You been at MIA? She had been. Working double shifts, studying Korean grammar at night, trying to fit into a country that kept pushing back. I know, I'm sorry, been crazy. You good, though? Amara looked around the empty break room, at the walls that felt like they were closing in. Yeah, I'm good. She wasn't. That night, she stood in front of her bathroom mirror, fingers working through her braids. The process was automatic, muscle memory. But tonight, her hands felt heavy. She switched to a video call. Her mother's face filled the screen, warm and familiar. Amara, why you look so tired? I'm fine, Mama. You're not fine. I can see it on your face. Her mother leaned closer to the camera. Are they treating you well at this new job? Yes, Mama. Are you eating? Yes. Are you sleeping? Amara smiled despite herself. Sometimes. Her mother's expression softened. My dear, you don't have to stay there. You can come home. The words hit like a punch. Come home. As if Lagos was still home. As if she hadn't spent 3 years building a life here, learning the language, understanding the culture. I'm okay, Mama, really. Okay. Her mother didn't believe her. But remember what I told you. You are enough as you are. Don't let them make you small. They talked for 20 more minutes about her siblings, about the neighbor's new baby, about nothing and everything. When they hung up, Amara's reflection stared back at her. Tired eyes, forced smile, a woman trying to be 2 things at once and failing at both. Her phone buzzed again, this time a group chat. Tunde had sent a voice note in pidgin. Amara, I beg, you don't come Seoul, forget your people. We no day see you again, oh, Zainab replied with laughing emojis. Leave her jare, she's corporate now. Another friend, Kemi, chimed in. Corporate, K? She's still black. She can't forget that, even if she wants to. The words stung more than they should have. Amara typed slowly. I didn't forget anything. Then prove it. Saturday, 7 p.m., don't be late. She put the phone face down on the counter, stared at her reflection again. She looked the same, but something inside felt different, stretched, like she was being pulled in opposite directions, and any second now she'd snap. Wait till you hear what they told me at that cookout. The week dragged. Every day was the same. Arrive early, bow to colleagues who barely acknowledged her, translate documents, field calls from partners in Lagos, London, Manila. Code switch so fast her brain hurt. In the office bubble, she was formal, polite, kept her Korean textbook perfect. On calls with Nigerian partners, she relaxed, let her accent flow natural, laughed at jokes about Lagos traffic and generator fuel. But the switching was exhausting. By Friday, her shoulders ached from tension she couldn't release. Her jaw hurt from smiling through microaggressions. A colleague had touched her braids without asking. Another had asked if her English was really that good, even though she'd been speaking it her whole life. Jiwoo called her into his office at the end of the day. How's your first week? Fine, he raised an eyebrow. You're a terrible liar. Amara almost smiled. Almost. It's fine, I can handle it. I know you can, but you shouldn't have to. He slid a business card across the desk. Client meeting next week, international. You're coming with me. Wait. Because you understand how to navigate different worlds. Most people here don't. She picked up the card. A company name she didn't recognize. What kind of business? Import-export, like I said. But something in his tone made her pause. Import-export could mean anything, legal or not. What are we importing? Jiwoo's eyes met hers. Does it matter? Yeah, it does. He studied her for a long moment, then nodded slowly like she'd passed some kind of test. Electronics, high-end, some gray market, but nothing illegal. Gray market? Welcome to international business, Amara. Nothing's ever black and white. She wanted to argue, wanted to ask more questions, but her phone buzzed with another message from Zainab. Tomorrow. Don't forget, she hadn't. She couldn't, because tomorrow was the only time she got to stop performing, stop proving, stop shrinking herself to fit into spaces that were never built for her. I'll be ready for the meeting, she told Jiwoo. Good. She left his office with more questions than answers, but that seemed to be her life now. Stuck between worlds, trusted by neither, exhausted by both. Little did I know, Saturday was going to change everything. Saturday night in Itaewon hit different. Music poured out of open windows, Afrobeat mixed with reggae, laughter cutting through the Seoul humidity. Amara climbed the stairs to Tunde's apartment, the smell of jollof rice pulling her forward like a lifeline. She knocked. The door swung open. Amara. Zainab pulled her into a hug that felt like home. Girl, we thought you ghosted us. Inside, the apartment was packed, bodies everywhere, dancing, talking, eating, West African accents mixing with American ones, code switching happening naturally, no performance required. Tunde spotted her from the kitchen. Hey, our Korean expert Dawn finally show face! Everyone laughed. Amara forced a smile. She dropped the chin-chin on the table, grabbed a plate, loaded it with jollof and plantains. The first bite almost made her cry. Real food, not performance food. But Kemi was watching her, arms crossed, expression unreadable. So, corporate life treating you good? Amara swallowed. It's all right. All right? Kemi's eyebrow lifted. You got a whole new job, new office, probably making triple what you made at that restaurant. That's more than all right. I guess. You guess. Kemi moved closer. You know what I heard? I heard you working for Jiwoo now. The Jiwoo. The room got quieter, not silent. But people were listening now. Amara set her plate down. How do you... People talk, especially about black girls getting jobs they not supposed to have. Kemi tilted her head. What you do for him anyway? Import coordination. Import coordination, Kemi repeated it slowly. That's what we calling it? Amara's jaw tightened. What's that supposed to mean? It means Jiwoo don't just import electronics, sis. Everybody know that. Tunde tried to cut in. Kemi, come on. Nah. Kemi held up a hand. I'm just asking, because if Amara out here doing shady work for Korean Mafia just to fit in, I'm not fitting in. The words came out harder than Amara intended. I'm surviving. Surviving. Kemi laughed, but it wasn't kind. You was surviving before, now you something else. Zainab stepped between them. Okay, that's enough. We supposed to be having fun. But the damage was done, the vibe had shifted. Amara could feel eyes on her, judgments forming, questions nobody wanted to say out loud. She grabbed her phone, her jacket. I should go. Amara, wait. Zainab reached for her arm. No, it's cool. I got work in the morning anyway. On Sunday? Amara didn't answer, just headed for the door. Behind her, she heard Kemi's voice, lower but still audible. See? She different now. Soul got her. The door closed, the music muffled. Amara stood in the stairwell, breathing hard, vision blurring. She wasn't supposed to cry. She'd learned that years ago. Crying was weakness, and black women didn't get to be weak, not in spaces that barely tolerated them existing at all. But her hands were shaking, and her chest was tight, and she couldn't figure out where she was supposed to belong anymore. Her phone rang. Jiwoo. She almost didn't answer, then did. Yeah? Where are you? His voice was sharp, alert. Itaewon. Why? Get out of there. Now. What? Sujin's hired people to follow you, private investigators. They're building a case to get you deported. Amara's blood went cold. How do you know? Because I just got a call from someone I pay to know these things. They're watching you right now. She looked down the stairwell, saw a man at the bottom, phone out, camera pointed up. Her heart stopped. Amara, move, she ran. Back up the stairs, through Tunde's apartment, ignoring the confused shouts, straight to the back window that led to the fire escape, climbed down 3 floors, legs burning until she hit the alley. Jiwoo's car was already there, black sedan, engine running. She got in. He pulled out into traffic before she even closed the door. What the hell is happening? I told you. Soojin doesn't forget. Jiwoo's hands were tight on the wheel. She's been digging into your background, your visa status, looking for anything she can use. My visa is clean. For now. But they can make things complicated, plant evidence, create problems. Amara's head spun. This is insane. Welcome to my world. They drove in silence for 10 minutes, out of Itaewon, away from the lights and music, into quieter streets. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. I don't need... Yes, you do. Jiwoo finally looked at her. Because tomorrow they're going to show up at your apartment, and if you're there, they'll take you in for questioning. And once you're in the system, Soojin's family will make sure you don't get out. Amara wanted to argue, wanted to say she could handle it, but she was tired. So tired of fighting, of proving, of existing in spaces that required her to be half herself just to survive. Why are you helping me? Jiwoo was quiet for a long moment. Then he pulled over, turned off the engine, reached into his jacket and pulled out a photo. The edges were worn, creased from being folded and unfolded too many times. In the photo, a younger Jiwoo stood next to a black man with kind eyes and a wide smile, Lagos skyline in the background. His name was Chidi, Jiwoo said quietly. He saved my life. Lagos 7 years ago. I was there on business. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong people. He didn't have to help, but he did. Amara stared at the photo. We became friends. He taught me things about trust, about loyalty, about seeing people as people, not just categories. Jiwoo's voice dropped. He died 6 months later. Different deal, different wrong people. I'm sorry. I made him a promise before he died, that I'd honor him, that I'd see people the way he saw them. Jiwoo looked at her. When I saw you in that restaurant, standing there while everyone watched, not bowing, not breaking, I saw him, his strength, his dignity. Amara's throat tightened. So no, this isn't charity and it's not business. Jiwoo put the photo away. It's a debt I can never fully pay, but I'm trying. The car was silent except for distant traffic. Amara finally spoke. What do we do now? Now? Jiwoo started the engine again. Now we fight back. But I wasn't ready for what fighting back actually meant. They arrived at a warehouse on the edge of the city, industrial area, empty streets, the kind of place that didn't show up on maps. Jiwoo led her inside. Lights flickered on, concrete floors, metal shelves stacked with boxes. 3 men stood in the center, not bodyguards. Something else. Something colder. Amara's instincts screamed. Jiwoo! It's okay. It's not okay. What is this place? He turned to face her. This is where I really work. The pieces clicked together. The gray market electronics, the connections, the power to make videos disappear and companies lose contracts overnight. You're not just an importer. No. You're careful. His voice was soft but sharp. Some things, once you say them out loud, you can't unsay. Amara took a step back, then another. Her hand found the door handle behind her. I can't be here. If you leave now, Soojin wins. Tomorrow you're deported. Your visa revoked. Everything you built here, gone. I didn't build anything! The words exploded out of her. I've been performing for 3 years, bowing to people who don't respect me, learning a language that doesn't protect me, shrinking myself to fit into a country that sees me as a problem. The warehouse echoed with her voice. Jiwoo didn't move. You're right, she blinked. What? You're right. Korea doesn't deserve you, neither do I. He stepped closer. But you deserve the choice. To stay or go. On your terms, not Soojin's. Amara's hands were shaking again. How? We expose her first, her family's corruption, the illegal contracts, the bribery. He pulled out a tablet, swiped through the files. I have everything. I've been collecting it for months. We leak it to the press, her empire crumbles, and she has no power to touch you. And what do you get out of this? One less enemy. That's it? Jiwoo's expression softened, just slightly. And maybe I get to keep my promise to Chidi, that I'd see people, really see them. Amara looked at the tablet, at the files that could destroy Soojin, at the choice that wasn't really a choice at all, because leaving meant giving up, and she'd spent her whole life refusing to give up. Okay, let's do it. She met his eyes. But not your way, my way. Jiwoo's eyebrow lifted. What's your way? Public, legal. We don't just leak files, we build a case. We go to the authorities. We do it right. That takes time, resources, and Soojin's family owns half the authorities. Not all of them, and not forever. Amara's voice steadied. You said I understand how to navigate different worlds, so let me navigate this one, my way. For the first time since she'd met him, Jiwoo smiled, really smiled. All right, your way. But that's when everything went wrong. The warehouse door exploded inward, not metaphorically, literally. Metal screeching, hinges ripping, flashlights cutting through the dark. Men in suits poured in, not police, private security, Soojin's. And behind them, stepping through the smoke and debris like she owned the world, was Soojin herself. Did you really think I wouldn't know? Her voice was ice. That I wouldn't be watching? Jiwoo moved in front of Amara, protective, dangerous. Soojin laughed. How sweet. The Mafia boss and his pet project. Amara's blood boiled. She stepped out from behind Jiwoo. I'm nobody's pet. Soojin's eyes locked on her. No, you're just a girl who doesn't know her place. My place? Amara felt something shift inside her. Something final. My place is wherever I decide it is. Not where you tell me, not where Korea tells me, not where anyone tells me. Big words for someone about to be deported. Try it. Amara pulled out her phone, hit record, pointed it at Soojin. Go ahead, threaten me, on camera. Let's see how that plays with your father's shareholders. Soojin's face twisted. The security guards looked at each other, uncertain now. Because Amara had learned something in 3 years of surviving in Korea. Power wasn't just money or connections. Power was knowing when to bow and when to stand, when to code switch, and when to speak your truth so loud nobody could ignore it. And right now she was done bowing. That's when everything changed. Soojin's hand shot out, fast, knocked the phone from Amara's grip. It skittered across concrete, screen cracking against metal shelving. But Amara was already moving, not backward, forward. Neo Jinja Molra! She switched to Korean, voice steady and cold. Do you really not know? 내가 내 회사 비리 준거 다 가지고 있어. I have evidence of all your company's corruption. Soojin froze. Her security guards exchanged looks. You're bluffing. Am I? Amara pulled a small recording device from her jacket pocket. Red light blinking. This has been running since we got here. Every threat, every word. And it's uploading to a secure server as we speak. Jiwoo's eyes widened slightly, impressed. He hadn't known. Soojin's composure cracked. You can't. I already did. Amara took a step closer. See, you made a mistake. You thought I was just some waitress, some foreigner you could push around. But I've been studying Korean law for 3 years. I know exactly what constitutes harassment, discrimination, and unlawful intimidation. The security guards were backing up now, slowly. They weren't paid enough for this. Soojin's voice shook. My father will destroy you. Your father? Amara laughed. It came out bitter, raw. Your father's about to have bigger problems. Because Jiwoo's files, the corruption evidence, I already sent copies to 3 journalists. They publish tomorrow morning. That was a lie. But Soojin didn't know that. Jiwoo caught on quick. Financial Times. Chosun Ilbo, and that American reporter who loves exposing chaebol families. Soojin's face went white. So here's what's going to happen. Amara's voice dropped. Dangerous. You're going to leave. You're going to drop whatever case you're building against me, and you're never going to come near me again. Or what? Or I make sure everyone knows what you said in that restaurant, what you called me in Korean, on camera. Amara smiled, but it was sharp. Korean netizens love a good scandal, especially when it involves a chaebol daughter being exposed for discrimination. The warehouse was silent except for distant traffic. Sujin's hands clenched into fists. Her jaw worked, but she had no moves left. This isn't over. Yes, Amara's voice was final. It is. Sujin turned on her heel, walked out. Her security followed, leaving the broken door swinging in the wind. The moment they were gone, Amara's legs gave out. Jiwoo caught her before she hit the ground. You okay? She laughed. Couldn't stop. The kind of laughter that came from adrenaline and fear and something breaking loose inside her chest. I just threatened one of the richest families in Korea with a recording device I bought at Daiso for 3,000 won. Jiwoo stared at her, then started laughing too. They sat on the concrete floor, backs against metal shelving, laughing until tears came. Until the fear transformed into something else. Something like freedom. You really sent those files to journalists? No, Amara wiped her eyes. But I will. Tomorrow. First thing. You don't have to. I can handle. No. She looked at him. I do it my way, remember? Jiwoo nodded slowly. Your way. But there was still one thing left to do. Monday morning, Amara walked into a Korean salon in Gangnam. The kind with floor-to-ceiling windows and minimalist decor. The kind that screamed expensive. The receptionist looked up, looked at Amara's braids. Her expression shifted. Can I help you? I need someone who can work with natural hair. The receptionist blinked. We don't really... I know. Amara's voice was calm. That's why I'm here to teach you. The woman's mouth opened, closed. A stylist emerged from the back. Young? Curious? What do you mean? Amara pulled out her phone, showed her a portfolio. I've been doing natural hair for years. Korean salons lose money because they turn away customers like me. I can change that. The stylist's eyes widened. You want to train us? I want to start a program, natural hair certification, partner with salons across Seoul. Amara's heart pounded, but her voice stayed steady. There are thousands of Black people living in Korea. Students, military, workers. We all need hair services. That's money you're refusing. The stylist looked at the receptionist, then back at Amara. Let me get the manager. 20 minutes later, Amara walked out with a meeting scheduled for Friday. A real meeting, with a contract, with possibilities. Her phone buzzed. Zainab. Yo, I heard what happened with Kemi. I'm sorry, she was out of line. Amara stood on the sidewalk, watching Seoul move around her. Cars honking, people rushing. A city that never stopped, never waited. She typed back. It's cool, she wasn't wrong. I was changing, but not the way she thought. You good, though? Amara looked at her reflection in the salon window. Braids loose now, natural. No more tight bun, no more shrinking. Yeah, I'm good. For real this time. That Saturday, she went back to Tunde's. The cookout was smaller this time, just the core group. Kemi was there, arms crossed, defensive. Amara walked straight to her. You were right, Kemi blinked. What? I was changing, trying to fit into spaces that didn't want me, bowing to people who didn't respect me. Amara's voice was steady. But you were wrong too, because I wasn't doing it to fit in. I was doing it to survive. And there's a difference. Kemi's expression softened. Amara, I'm not mad. You were scared I was losing myself. I get it. Amara sat down. But I'm not lost. I'm just finding a different way, one where I don't have to choose. Tunde brought over plates, jollof rice, plantains, chin. So you staying in Korea? He asked. Amara nodded. Yeah, but on my terms now. What about that Jiwoo situation? Handled. She didn't elaborate. Some things didn't need explanation. Zainab raised her. Drink. To Amara, who don't bow to nobody. They all drank, laughed. The night stretched out warm and easy, and for the first time in 3 years, Amara didn't feel like she was performing. She was just existing in her skin, in her space, whole. 3 months later, the Korean-Nigerian fusion restaurant opened in Itaewon. Small space, 20 tables, walls painted in warm oranges and deep greens, Korean script mixed with Yoruba phrases. Amara stood behind the counter, wearing her natural hair in a twist-out, speaking Korean to a customer, then switching to English for another, then Yoruba on a phone call to her mother. The code switching didn't exhaust her anymore. It was just her. All of her. Jiwoo walked in at lunch, sat at the bar. Jollof jjajangmyeon? Amara asked. Obviously. She prepared the dish, Korean black bean sauce mixed with West African spices, fusion done right. How's the salon program going? Good. 3 locations signed on. Training starts next month. She slid the bowl across. How's business? Legitimate now, mostly. He smiled. Chidi would be proud. Yeah, he would. They ate in comfortable silence. Outside Seoul moved past the windows. A city of millions. A place that would never fully understand her. But that was okay, because she understood herself now. The door opened. A young girl walked in, maybe 13, Afro-Korean, hair in box braids, eyes uncertain. She looked at the menu, at Amara, at the walls that said she belonged here. Do you have? Amara smiled, switched to Korean. 뭐 드시고 싶어요? What would you like? The girl's shoulders relaxed. Your jollof rice. I heard it's really good. It is. Sit anywhere you want. The girl sat by the window, pulled out homework, looked comfortable, like she didn't have to choose which half of herself to be. Amara watched her for a moment, remembered being that age, remembered the confusion, the exhaustion, the constant performance. Then she went to prepare the order, added extra plantains, because some things you just knew. Jiwoo finished his meal, left cash on the counter, more than the bill. For the girl, he said quietly. Amara nodded. He walked out. She brought the food to the girl's table. On the house, first-time customer special. The girl's eyes lit up. Really? Really? Amara set down the plate, paused. You're not half of anything, you know. You're whole. The girl looked up. Understanding flickered in her eyes. Thank you. Amara walked back to the counter. The restaurant filled with lunch customers, Korean voices, English, Yoruba, Tagalog, languages mixing, code switching, existing together. And Amara realized something. She'd spent 3 years trying to fit into Korea, trying to prove she belonged. But belonging wasn't about fitting in. It was about making space for yourself, for all of yourself. She pulled out her phone, typed a text to her mother. Mama, I'm home, her mother replied. Immediately. I know, my dear. I always knew. The afternoon sun streamed through the windows. Music played softly, Afrobeat blending with Korean R&B. Customers laughed, ate, existed without performing. And Amara stood in the middle of it all, braids loose, smile real, finally understanding what Jiwoo had meant. That first day in the restaurant. You don't bow to people who don't see you, you build a space where you can stand. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk about identity, belonging, and finding your place in the world. Drop a comment and tell me your story. Where do you feel caught between worlds? How are you making space for all of yourself? Let's keep this conversation going, because your story matters. All of it. Every part of you is whole.